everybody. Welcome to another Frank recording. My friend, Brandi Erin Douglas, always talked about Patsy Cline. She's an actor and singer. She invited me to a show of hers, and it was part method acting, part channeling, all concert and all absolutely flawless. But I needed her to get in here and tell us Frank audience what's going on. So, Brandi Douglas, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's definitely an honor to get to be here. You know, when it comes to kind of what's going on here with Patsy and why I love her, and I would say this all starts back to when I was about 4 years old, and I was watching this TV show. It was on a country music wax museum, and it was kind of like this virtual tour that they had going on, and there's this wax figure of Patsy. And there was something about her that I saw her face, and I just thought, I just really connected with her. I got these really good feelings, and I felt like I almost knew her somehow. And I don't know if maybe my parents had maybe played her music before and I didn't really remember because I was so little, but something about her I just really connected with, and I just got these really good, happy feelings. But it's funny because I didn't really listen to her music until a few years later. I was 8 years old, and we were on a car trip to go visit my grandparents up in Sacramento, and we had this big box of cassette tapes. And I remember my mom saying for me to pick one out to put on to play. And I was looking through the tapes, and I picked this one up, and I see that face again. It was Patsy's face. And it was her 12 Greatest Hits album on cassette. And I went, oh, this is it. I have to listen to her. I got like all those feelings came back again. And so I handed my mom the cassette. She put it in the player. And in a couple seconds, I hear this voice. She's singing Walking After Midnight. And I'm just blown away by her sound, by her voice, she just had this tone that was so rich and so almost haunting, this haunting quality. And I just couldn't stop like listening to her. I got all these like just really good feelings. And so I remember I wanted to know more about her. Like we listened to that whole tape on the car trip. I loved it. And I just was intently listening to her. I remember I really wanted to know more about her. So I asked my mom about, if she was still alive. And I remember she said that, unfortunately, no, she died in a plane crash when she was very young. And I remember feeling really sad and that she was gone. And I was listening to her voice, and I thought she just sounds so alive. Like I didn't quite comprehend how she could not be alive anymore, because she just sounded like she was right there in that car with me. And so from then on, I just was so obsessed with wanting to know more about her. I wanted to know every little tidbit about her life. So I started reading all of these books, and I started going online, and I would sit for hours. This was in the age of like dial-up, and I'd have to wait for the computer to load. And I remember sitting there and looking up as much information as I could. I knew all these little things about her, like her favorite color, her favorite foods, her hobbies, all of that. And I would go around telling people everything I knew about her, whether they wanted to hear it or not, they would get to hear it. I almost had this like feeling where I like had this almost this duty to try to keep her spirit alive. Like I loved her and I really admired her as an artist, but there was something, that I just felt like I had to do that. And then learning more about her and how I just so admired how tough she was. She was so strong. She was so determined. She never gave up on her dream of being a singer. And that was something that really stuck with me. I was always kind of a shy kid. And so I think having her presence in my life really helped me come out of my shell. And she wasn't afraid to be who she was. She was wearing her red lipstick and her tight pants when most women, especially back in that day, weren't doing either of those things. And she was like, this is who I am, Hoss. She used to call everybody Hoss, at least everybody who she liked Hoss. That was her term. And she wasn't afraid to stand up to anybody, stand up for herself or for others. And I just really admired like all of those things about her, along with her voice. And so right around that same time, I, at a young age, started singing along with her. And so once I got kind of familiar with her music, I started singing along with her. And I just started getting those down, all of these nuances and inflections in her voice, and working on her growls. She did a lot of growls in her singing. And that was something I actually didn't get until I was like more recently. Now that I've gotten older, I feel like my voice has matured. And so I've been able to hit those and hit this like really high note that she sang on Lovesick Blues, the song Lovesick Blues. I'd been working on that note forever. And now I finally am able to hit it. It's a really high note for the rest of her music that she normally sings. Her spirit just really stuck with me. And when I was about 13, I really, really wanted to play her. That's when it really hit me that I thought, I really want to bring her presence to life at some point. And when I was about 13, I was dressing like all 50s style. So I had like the whole look going on with the red lips. I had to have the signature red Patsy lips. And then when I was 14, I cut my hair off myself to look more like her. I used to have really long hair and I cut it, and I've left it that way ever since, because always in the, hopes of one of these days playing Patsy. I also got my first cell phone, and I remember walking into the store and, we got it all set up, and they show me the paper with my phone number on it that was chosen at random. And the last 4 digits of my phone number are Patsy's birthday. And I remember I just turned completely pale. Like I looked probably so sickly. I just knew that was a sign. And I was like, okay, this is a sign, hopefully from the Cline, that I'm on the right track. That she's okay with me singing her music and trying to continue her legacy on. I saw this production of Always Patsy Cline, a musical that has 2 women and a band. And I was so inspired by those actresses in that show, who I saw when I was like 14. I got into theater in high school and studied it in college. And I always loved playing such a range of roles. But my end goal was to get to play Patsy Cline. Like that, I was hoping all of the training and everything would come together and I would get to play her. That was also like a gateway for me to say, hey, you can be Patsy. Like this is something that you can do. This is feasible. Just recently for this show that finally I've been able to, on my debut show, check that off the bucket list of what I've always wanted to do, is to play her. And for the format of the show, I really wanted it to bring the presence of, as if the audience had gone back in time to be there at a concert that Patsy would have done back in the like late 50s, early 60s. And I wanted to put her hits in there because those are the songs that people really know and are expecting to hear. But I also wanted to have this alternate version of her, of them getting to hear the songs that they wouldn't really know. She recorded a lot of rockabilly songs, what she called her Red Hot Mama songs. And those are the real upbeat, swinging kind of songs. And I really wanted to show off her versatility as a performer and to show those songs. I know she loved getting to sing those and be able to dance around a little bit. And so I really wanted to make sure that those songs were in there as well with her hits. And so it's just an absolute honor that now I'm actually getting to be able to play her. I think, there's also a lot of prep work that I did in the process of actually becoming this character, or this actual person. I say character, but she was so real. And I would watch a whole bunch, like all of the videos that exist of her, all of the video footage. I was watching so closely to see all of her mannerisms and to get all of those little details down, her facial expressions, all of that. She had really a great confidence about her that she was able to bring. And yet also that feeling of friendliness, and like she was basically your almost like best friend, but also very, put together as well. So I wanted to bring that. All of her live recordings were something that I also focused in on, because I wanted to hone in on her accent and her cadence, how she talked, kind of to pull some of the dialogue of things that she actually said, but also to make up my own things as far as what I thought she would say. I got together a tribute band, and they're such amazing people. Like, they are so excited about this, and they're just as excited about it as I am. And so I'm like, I finally found my peeps. Like, could not have done this without them. This band is amazing. They sound just like, even better than the recordings of Patsy that I've been listening to. You know, two people who've been really integral in this whole project, Julianne Homoke and Ron Barnett, they play rhythm guitar and piano / keyboard in my band, and they do backup vocals. So what's really cool is a lot of Patsy's music had the Jordanaires singing in the background, and so they have incorporated that into the music that we're doing. We're trying to, you know, get that sound, but they were absolutely instrumental in getting everything together, getting the music together. So I was kind of like, in trying to pick songs, it was kind of crazy because I know like she recorded 104 songs. So I know all like the lyrics to all of them. And so it was hard for me to try to figure out what to put in it. So I kind of created this list of like the songs that I wanted to do and then handed it off to them. And, you know, to Julianne especially, it was like, here, help me with this. Like, I don't know how to cut this down. It's so overwhelming because I love all of her music. But they're just fantastic. They're such talented people. And the rest of my band they are so talented as well. And I just so thankful for them. I couldn't do it without them. I just really hope that this show brings, you know, joy to people, that this is something that maybe especially for older people who were alive at the time when Patsy was alive, maybe they have, you know, stories to tell if they knew her or knew someone who knew her, or, you know, maybe listen to this music as a kid. I definitely want to keep doing this whole show, you know, hoping to get to tour with this.
Give us some Patsy.
Howdy, everybody. Now, here's a song that I put on a record a little while back. If anybody cares to shake a leg, go ahead. We don't care which one it is. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you.
Brandi, thank you so much. Yeah, this is amazing. And again, you should go see Brandi. I was absolutely gobsmacked at how amazing the show is. And where can people find out where you're going to play?
So we currently have a Facebook page that is Sweet Dreams, a tribute to Patsy Cline. And there's currently a picture, like the cover photo is of me with my band. But if you Google that, you should be able to find it.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. And we did
it. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.